Are you aware of the meme that was being flooded?
बहुत पीते थे.
वीकेंड जब आता था तो फिर लाइक ऐसा लगता था कि दैट वो आया ही इसलिए लाइक दैट वेंट लाइक 12-13 million views, almost 300,000 shares. I was not in favor of it because देखो शार्क टैंक में ना बेइज्जती हो जाती है धीरे धीरे करके ना लोग अब जाग रहे हैं. People are waking up to the reality and it's not because of brands like Catwalk, it's not because of what the doctor is saying, it's because what your body is saying. The biggest marketing tool for a brand like ours is the human body. Every drinker would agree with me here that we all have a love and hate relationship with alcohol.
So you could go back on day one of creating Catwalk. What is the best advice you would have given to yourself?
You Google Bollywood stars who don't drink alcohol, long list, and then you Google out of these stars who all endorse alcohol brands, long list. एक बंदा मेरे को आके बोलता है 12.99 इसमें शराब भी नहीं है.
What is the biggest takeaway you took from Shark Tank?
We're not running it as a startup, we're running it as a business. So restaurant business crack होता है first bite. Why would you want to deprive someone of that vibe just because they're not drinking alcohol?
Welcome back to yet another episode by Just Because. Today we have Ishaan Arora with us today from Catwalk Botanics. Catwalk Botanics is a non-alcoholic spirits brand which also made a recent appearance at Shark Tank India. Hi Ishaan.
Hi Muskan.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Ishaan, I want to ask this burning question. You have this very interesting tagline. What is said at night will finally see the day. So, why this tagline?
This tagline basically happened for the very reason that it was always, like when people drink, they commit to a lot of things. They'll make plans, they'll, commit to their friends something or the other. Even like in business meetings, you see people drinking and they would commit to business ventures, but the next day everything will be forgotten because they were drunk. So idea was to use this very philosophically that, what is said at night will finally see the day. Because you will not be drunk. The next morning you will remember what all you committed to, what all somebody committed to you. That's the reason that it happened, and we got it right in a way to catch
the eyeballs, yeah. I think it's your version of saying what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas.
I think the saying is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes, but it's like opposite for you.
Yeah, but I never thought of it that way. But yes, maybe yes. Yeah.
I read it, it was like this line came to my mind that is he trying to say this?
Yeah, because you see, now Vegas is the extreme end of what we're talking here.
Yeah.
But yes, like they say, like alcohol basically makes people, if not physically, mentally be in Vegas wherever they are.
Wherever they are.
So yeah, our idea was to make sure that people who do not want to drink, who do not want to get drunk, should have something with them. And people who are looking to cut down should get a good alternative to drink.
Coming to Shark Tank now, I've been wanting to talk about this for the longest time. So, how is the experience?
Shark Tank, you see, Shark Tank is I think it's twofold, right? One is being on TV.
Yeah.
And TV works in a certain way. There's a lot of pressure to make it flawless. TV has to be flawless, right? I don't know if you've ever been engaged in any shoot for a TV show or reality show, but you have to be like, there's a lot of rules and regulations that you have to follow. Then the second thing that happens is when it comes to TV is that it has to be one cut. Reality is one cut. Right?
Yeah.
So for people like me, like us founders, all of us, we're not used to the camera. We're not trained actors. Yeah. So this is one part, right? So that makes you nervous. That plays a big role in the experience. Then the second part is the investment side of things, right? The marketing side of things, like which is for your business, right? That also makes you nervous. That you want to get it just right. You want the marketing to be just right. You want So us as founders, we were 4 months old. We knew what we were doing. We knew that maybe we won't get funding because we're a new company, new brand, new category.
You had realistic expectations.
Realistic expectations, but by the time you reach there, you're standing there. You're also human, right? So you have that expectation. कि शायद मिल जाए, you know, somebody would show faith in the category, in you. But you also have to remember that those people are seasoned investors. There's a reason they're called sharks. That said, both Sony and the sharks, during the show Sharks, before and after Sony make it very easy for you. They help you as much as they can, and they make it very like they comfort you to the point where you are only nervous for yourself and for your brand, and not because of TV, camera, and all these things, right?
Can you give some example how?
Like for example, like when we were trying to do a setup, we wanted to, like, so the first 2 minutes of the pitch is where you have to learn it, right? And then Q&A is one cut. Like there's no you don't need to learn anything, right? It's just how we are talking. You're talking to the sharks. So they do this like for 3 days they prepare you, right? They just don't put you in the tank and they're like, "Jao," you know. They prepare you. They help you. They help you make your brand look good on television, right? It's essentially like एक तरफ शार्क टैंक है, एक तरफ आपके गार्डियन एंजल्स हैं जो भी चाहते हैं कि आपको डील मिले, आपको मार्केटिंग अच्छी मिले, but at the same time they have their job, right? They want to make good TV.
Yeah.
Because unko they are employees of Sony, right?
So how, like, what is the process like? Can you throw some light on that?
Process of Shark Tank.
Yeah, of the whole, like, getting into it, getting finalized to the pitch.
देखो हमारे लिए तो प्रोसेस बड़ा ही कॉम्प्लिकेट था, बिकॉज बोथ ऑफ अस, माय पार्टनर एंड आई, वी केप्ट थिंकिंग कि जाना है नहीं जाना है, करना है नहीं करना है. एंड यू नो व्हेन वी क्रिएट अ प्रोडक्ट लाइक कैटवॉक, the way the product looks, the way it tastes and everything, the day we launched was, I think, the first time somebody said that you guys should go to Shark Tank. And then multiple people came to us and said, you guys should go to Shark Tank, you guys should go to Shark Tank. And initially I was not in favor of it. Because देखो Shark Tank में ना बेइज्जती भी हो जाती है.
Yeah, कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Exactly. So मुझे तो ये भी था कि that यार बेइज्जती ना हो जाए, किसी को समझ आए ना आए. Plus as a founder, you also have to take this call कि that is it too early, you know, like let's grow a little more, take more numbers. तो जब हम जुलाई में, आई रिमेंबर मैं ऐसे ही बैठा हुआ था एंड माय पार्टनर एंड आई वाज सिटिंग, वी वर लाइक जस्ट डिस्कसिंग कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना. हम काम कर रहे थे, ऑफिस में बैठे हुए थे. तो मैंने बोला कि दैट यार ये मैंने ऐसे ही गूगल करा कि दैट शार्क टैंक एप्लीकेशंस, एंड इट सेड दैट एप्लीकेशंस आर ओपन, लाइक यू कैन अप्लाई. एंड आई टोल्ड हिम ये ओपन है, एप्लीकेशंस मांग रहे हैं वो लोग, कर दूं? एंड ही सेड नहीं रहने दो. एंड लाइक कर देता हूँ, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, ऐसे नहीं होगा, ज़्यादा नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा, बट खाली तो बैठे हैं, लाइक मतलब यू नो मेरे पास अगले 1 घंटा कुछ नहीं है करने को, कर देते हैं. तो इसलिए क्या क्या मांग रहे हैं, सर कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं मांग रहे हैं, क्योंकि मुझे तो एक ही पेज दिख रहा था ना सामने वाला. एंड ऐसे लाइक मैं डाल देता हूँ. मैंने ऐसे वो डाला, जैसे ही एक पेज खत्म हुआ, देन इट स्टार्टेड लाइक यू नो ऑल दिस, एंड आई एम लाइक कैन यू प्लीज सिट डाउन, ही हैड टू लीव फॉर मीटिंग. आई सेड प्लीज सिट डाउन, प्लीज टेल मी ये क्या नंबर्स हैं, ये क्या नंबर्स है, क्या नंबर्स है, लॉन्ग फॉर्म. एंड देन वंस वी सबमिटेड दैट फॉर्म, I think someone in Sony liked us, what we were pitching. And then it was like that for वो बस congratulations next round, congratulations next round. हाँ मेहनत बहुत कराई, वीडियो बना के भेजो, फिर यहाँ पे दिल्ली में एक राउंड हुआ, वहाँ बुलाया, वहाँ पे भी हमारा you know we pitched. But everywhere like I feel that they make the application process very simple. However, मुझे कल कोई बता रहा था कि there are more than 2 lakh brands pitch for it every season.
How many get selected?
200.
Really?
Yeah. अब किसी ने मुझे 2 lakhs बोला है, but लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता कि that ये
I think 2 lakh से भी ज़्यादा हो सकता है.
ज़्यादा ही होगा, है ना? तो जब उसने मुझे ये परसों जब ये बोला ना, then I was like nice है, like then it's good that we made it, right? So yeah, so it was majorly कि दैट करें ना करें, बट एट द सेम टाइम उसका जो मेन रीज़न था वो मार्केटिंग था. Not just marketing our brand, ourselves as founders, but marketing the category.
Yeah.
That there is something like non-alcoholic gin that can exist, non-alcoholic vodka that can exist, and it's in India now. It's not just a Western concept. We understand that we might be early, but it better be early than late.
ट्रू, इस कैटेगरी की ज़्यादा नॉलेज ही नहीं है मार्केट में. पीपल डोंट नो आल्सो कि ये कैटेगरी एग्जिस्ट भी करती है.
मेरे पास बहुत ज्ञान है, मैं दूंगा ज्ञान.
So, are you aware of the meme that was being flooded?
Which one? To ask which one.
वीकेंड लगता है आया ही इसलिए है.
But it's true, no? मेरे जैसे बहुत लोग हैं जो agree करेंगे, और उस पे like that went like 12-13 million views, almost 300,000 shares, right? Because and that made me happy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if the meme तो वहाँ कट गया, but किसी ने अगर पूरा episode देखा होगा तो they would know that I was trying to explain the factor that today more than ever a lot of people do weekend drinking. For them it's important that weekdays में वो कुछ ना पिए, but socialization doesn't always be over the weekend. And sometimes you have busy weekends too. Like for example, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ ना कि that मेरा जब when I was drinking and I would drink over the weekend, कितनी बार ऐसा होगा कि that next day मेरे पास काम था सैटरडे को, बट मैंने फ्राइडे को इतनी पी ली तो नाउ इट्स गॉन टू मंडे.
So, after the episode got aired, what was the DMs and website situation was like the next morning?
Really nice, very kind people reaching out, complimenting us as founders, complimenting the product, resonating with the brand. Very important. They're saying that, you know, they were looking for something like this. They wanted something like this. Very, very sweet messages. People saying that, you know, I would love to try this. You know, Ishaan, I agree with you. This whole, you know, like I also want to achieve so much, and I feel that alcohol is stopping me. These kind of messages. Some really nice women also complimenting me. It's nice. God bless them as well. But that was also nice. Why not, right? Like it feels nice. But all in all, very good DMs, very good response on our organic response on our pages. People found the episode very witty, very very fun, and you know, people saying that हमें आप बड़े अच्छे लगे, आपका like the whole pitch was very nice, and you know, you are very witty, very funny. So what I am in real life. पता है होता क्या है, जब वहाँ पे पहुँच जाते हो ना मुस्कान, तो वहाँ पे पहले 2-3 मिनट तो आपको जो लर्न करा हुआ है वो बोलना है. उसके बाद जब वो आपसे सवाल पूछना शुरू करते हैं ना, तो आप भूल जाते हो कि आपका ऊपर कैमरा है, टैंक है, क्या नहीं है. एंड इट्स अ गुड थिंग दैट हैपेंस, एंड देन यू आर योरसेल्फ.
Yeah, you are on your own then. क्योंकि आप बाहर असली पर्सनालिटी.
या असली पर्सनालिटी आपकी बाहर, एंड इट्स अ गुड थिंग दैट इट केम आउट, बिकॉज उस समय तो मुझे लग रहा था, जब मैं वहाँ से बाहर निकला था ना, आई वाज लाइक
ये क्या बोल दिया,
क्या बोल के आ गए, पता नहीं क्या ही होगा. बट जो बन के आया उसके बाद, द काइंड ऑफ लव दैट वी गॉट फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड, आई थिंक it was nice that they appreciated me being myself and not, you know, being conscious about the cameras, about the sharks. Aman and I had a few very like funny moments together. Vinita and I also had a funny moment. Yeah, so it's nice.
So website पे like what sale jump percentage did you saw?
आज ही अभी मैं और मेरे पार्टनर सब बैठे हुए थे ऑफिस में, and I was telling him that it's not, see देखो, this is something that I've seen with other founders also that went this season. Now they don't show it on television, right? It's just Sony Live app. Plus it comes on YouTube.
Yeah.
So this season a lot of founders didn't get what they were expecting.
Really?
Yeah. So like multiple reasons, like maybe not as many people are watching as they used to, but उतना sales में response इस सीजन लोगों को नहीं मिला है जितना पहले 2 सीजन्स में आया था. ये भी देखो, मैं तो पहले 2 सीजन में नहीं गया था ना, ये भी मैंने सुना है, लाइक यू नो, व्हेन आई टॉक टू अदर फाउंडर्स एंड दे आर टेलिंग मी दैट ये हुआ है इस बार. बट जो रिस्पॉन्स आया है ना, देखो एक और चीज़ होती है कि दैट आपको अपना ब्रांड भी देखना पड़ता है, आपको अपनी कैटेगरी भी देखनी पड़ती है. आई एम नॉट सेलिंग cakes.
It's very niche category.
It's a very niche category. So for me, it's a win that somebody got to know about the category. Somebody got to know what catwalk is. Now when they will be looking for it, ये ना मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि देखो मैगी नहीं है कि इसका ad देख के भूख लग जाए, राइट? चलो हम भी मैगी खा लेते हैं क्योंकि ad देखा, राइट? It's a product which will, the need will arise when you will know that you need something like this.
How long was the recording? The original duration?
ऐसे मुझे याद नहीं है, वहाँ पे तो ऐसा लगता है बस खत्म ही हो गया 2 मिनट के अंदर सब कुछ. बट होगा एक 40-45 मिनट.
Who was your favorite shark?
फेवरेट शार्क तो वो होता जो डील दे देता पर डील तो मिली नहीं. I'm kidding. नहीं, I think my favorite shark was Aman only. Yeah, Aman and I had a good equation. Like when there was banter.
The vibe was there.
Yeah, I like the word vibe. Yeah, like, मेरे मुंह से नहीं निकलता अपने आप. But I think whenever I meet people much younger than me, I take it back home. फिर हाथ से निकल जाता है. Pick up a word and like it's nice word. But I think वो पंजाबी में बोलता है ना, मेरे पे नहीं फपता है. Like मेरे सूट करता है जब मैं बोलता हूँ. But anyway, so so we were vibing. But they were all nice. Yeah, so.
What is the biggest takeaway you took from Shark Tank? Personally, professionally?
That I look good on camera. I'm joking. I'm joking.
डालूंगी मैं.
No, that the biggest takeaway that I got from Shark Tank was that me being authentic worked.
Yeah.
People related to me. And that's the reason that I want to be like that. पहले ना थोड़ा सा मैं conscious होता था कैमरा के सामने, and like I would be a little conscious. Like if you'll watch my videos on Instagram, you'll be like, this is not you, right? Because जब आप videos बनाते हो, and today this is a message that I can send to all content creators, that when you make content, the more authentic you are, the more you relate to people who find you relevant, who find you relatable. So most of these really good content creators that you find, they are basically being themselves in that 30-40 seconds.
100%.
Right? So you be yourself, you be your crazy, and you'll find crazy who appreciates your crazy.
But I'm glad that you brought this up, because I've told to countless founders and to countless creators that be yourself. Don't fake it. कब तक फेक करोगे? 2 महीने कर लोगे, 4 महीने कर लोगे, कभी तो असली पर्सनालिटी बाहर आएगी ना.
लानी पड़ेगी.
हाँ, कैसे आप कनेक्ट करोगे?
बट बाय द वे ये ना बी योरसेल्फ भी बोलना बड़ा आसान है, पर इट्स इजियर सेड देन डन. आई टेल यू,
ऑफ कोर्स,
बिकॉज़ मोस्ट पीपल डोंट लाइक देमसेल्व्स.
or they don't know themselves. And मेरे को लगता है that people can spot fakeness through camera very quickly today. देख लेते हैं उनको.
Fakeness, are you talking about Botox and fakeness?
That also. Like fakeness in the sense कि they can catch कि ये pretend कर रहा है. Spot it. They can see it. They can hear it. They can.
Because see, the camera never lies.
Exactly.
जाता है ना आपकी basically आपके expression पे आप comfortable नहीं लग रहे हो.
Yeah. One question I want to ask is that if you could go back on day one of creating Catwalk, what is the best advice you would have given to yourself?
On day one, that the day I decided to make this.
Yeah. And now like you've been through this.
I would have told myself that this is, you're doing category building. I didn't know I was going to build a category. I thought that I'm creating a beverage that'll be an alternate to alcohol. Like every other founder, I was also ambitious and I was also very positive about it. But the more I'm going out with it, you know how they say, the more you fuck around, the more you find out. And the more I have gone out with Catwalk, my sales team, me, we realized that this is category building. So and then we basically tell that brand बाद में आएगा, product बाद में आएगा, पहले category के बारे में education करनी है. So अगर मैं पहले दिन अपने आप को ये बोल सकता, तो मैं थोड़ा सा और prepared हो जाता. Mentally. But you know, आप when you learn it the hard way, you learn it best.
Learn the best way.
So no regrets. Boy, I would have loved to be a little more prepared.
So, why did you quit alcohol? Because now everyone knows it after Shark Tank that you did. So, would your high school version believe that you'll end up doing this?
I didn't drink in high school. I was a good kid in high school. I was a nerd, and I started drinking when I had my first drink when I was 20, which was with my father.
Oh, that's great.
I grew up in a household where my parents would be very okay with alcohol. My mother never drank, but she would be okay because my dad used to drink. And I think that's the reason that I always had this self-policing thing going on, because my father would not say no. He made my first drink for me. And then I would go out with my friends. But you see, what happens is that alcohol works in a very mysterious way, right? Like you start with 2 drinks, 3 drinks. And then, of course, your body becomes more and more immune to alcohol. Then in life, your stress increases. So the consumption of alcohol also increases with time, right? They say कि capacity बढ़ गई है, but capacity बढ़ाने वाले भी हम खुद ही होते हैं, right? Because आप शुरू में you drink to enjoy, to loosen up, and then you are drinking to cope with stress. And then the extreme end is that you're drinking to cope with trauma.
Yeah, escapism.
And from 20 till 34, I drank. I used to be a social drinker. Like I would rarely drink alone at home, like very, very rarely, like have a beer on a hot summer day. But otherwise, I would be a social drinker. But the older I grew, and the more stress I would accumulate over the week. On Friday, I would go out and I would drink my heart out.
Friday इसलिए आया है.
Weekend आता ही इसलिए. It's true, no? कि आप जब see, मुझे नहीं पता बाकी सबका, but I know some people who have, for the lack of a better term, active lifestyles or high functioning individuals, right? If you have work Monday to Friday, you would avoid drinking because you'll have to compromise the next day.
Yeah, you wake up lazy. Yeah.
कि आप Wednesday का stress भी जो है Friday को wait कर रहे हो कि वो stress को मैंने address करना है with alcohol, right? कि मैं Friday करूँगा because Thursday morning I have a meeting. I have to show up and I can't be hungover. So that became like a cycle where every weekend I would wait for the weekend and then I would be unhinged. Right? But what I realized was that this binge drinking over the weekend is much worse than being a tippler.
Yeah.
Like somebody who has 2 drinks every day.
Yeah.
Because Friday, Saturday I would drink. Right? Sunday I would be really hungover. You're struggling in bed. Right? You're उठा ही नहीं जा रहा, आपसे बेड से निकला ही नहीं जा रहा है. And then bad life choices alcohol पे खत्म नहीं होती है ना. So when you're hungover, that's where you get, like, next morning you're getting munchies, you're ordering food from outside, you want greasy food.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle, right? So and then what happens is that for Monday and Tuesday you will see the repercussions of your actions. Right? मंडे एंड ट्यूसडे जब मैंने ये नोटिस करा कि मेरा हैंगओवर संडे तक लिमिटेड नहीं है, मंडे ट्यूसडे भी मुझे एक ब्रेन फॉग हो रहा है, एक डिहाइड्रेशन हो रही है. सो I became curious, right? And when I was, I think 34, I turned 34 and it was year 2023 था, and January 1st को I was like, इस साल छोड़ दूंगा. Because I'm not that person, that would do a New Year resolution कि January 1st को छोड़ना है, like इतना pressure नहीं लेता मैं. So मैं January 1st को ये सोचता हूँ कि इस साल ये छोड़ूंगा. For example, this year I have my own resolution that this year I will quit it, right? So January 1st, 2023, I was like, I'm going to quit drinking this year. On May 12th, I made up my mind after a night of very heavy drinking. I was like, never again.
हो गया.
Yeah, and then I never touched alcohol. We all have, all of us, every drinker would agree with me here that we all have a love and hate relationship with alcohol. We love alcohol. Alcohol doesn't love us back. Sometimes it hates us because of what it does to our physical and mental health. So I was kind of done. And first it was supposed to be a pilot. Like, I was like, I'm done with it. I'm not going to drink it. Okay. 1 month without alcohol, then 3 months without alcohol. After 3 months, I was like, I don't know the person that I'm becoming.
How was the first month when you left it?
So the first month I stayed in. Like अगर बाहर जाऊंगा तो मन कर जाएगा. So I stayed in. लेकिन बाहर नहीं जाऊंगा, अंदर ही घर पे बैठूंगा. और सेकेंड मंथ में आई स्टेप्ड आउट. बट मैं आपको आज एक चीज़ बताता हूँ. सो एक ना इटालियन सेइंग है, इन वीनो वेरिटास. इट मीन्स अंडर द इन्फ्लुएंस यू स्पीक द ट्रूथ. सो जब आप अल्कोहल पीते हो ना, तो इफ़ यू लाइक व्हेन you meet a drunk person and they're being mean, they're being an asshole, so वो उनकी ट्रू पर्सनैलिटी बाहर आ रही है, राइट? सो जब आप किसी को मिलते हो who's a very fun loving person, like like you love talking to them when they're drunk and they're amazing to have around you, वो उनकी ट्रू पर्सनैलिटी है, राइट? वो सच बाहर आ रहा है. तो मैंने ये रियलाइज़ किया कि दैट मैं अल्कोहल पे जो डिपेंडेंट था जिस चीज़ के लिए, वो ऑलरेडी अंदर था.
So Ishaan, we all know that it's already on the internet and everyone is reading about it, that Gen Zs are consuming less alcohol now than compared to millennials. Why do you think so?
I think Gen Z are really smart.
Yeah.
When they're doing this. So first let's get one thing out of the way, that Gen Z जो कर रहे हैं उस बारे में हम बात नहीं करेंगे. Right? हम ये बात करेंगे कि Gen Z अल्कोहल क्यों नहीं पी रहा है.
Yeah.
जो वो कर रहे हैं that is fine. Gen Z अल्कोहल जहाँ से मैं देखता हूँ, वो इसलिए नहीं पी रहा है. पहला रीज़न तो ये कि that alcohol has become very expensive.
True.
Right? And Gen Z is very smart with their money. They want to use all their money to travel and eat great food. Right? Why? Oh, also third thing, to look good.
Why Gen Z is consuming less? Ki people are being more aware about their time.
Yeah, because now time has never been this important.
Yeah.
Especially देखो, अब पता है सबसे बड़ा इसमें principle change क्या आया है, that after COVID people have started appreciating time in general.
Yeah.
So it's a massive point that you've put here, that Gen Z is also trying to not waste time.
Yeah, exactly.
In bed, recovering from alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. So उससे सबसे ज़्यादा I think irritation होती है कि यार I had so much on the list, या इतना सब करना था, but because of this you can't do anything. And then you circle back कि why this happened, this is why it happened.
But you see, the bigger picture here is that millennials are also not consuming the amount of alcohol that they used to now, because their body is rejecting alcohol.
How?
हाउ क्या यार, आपकी एज बढ़ती है तो आपकी जो अल्कोहल, जिसको आप पहले आप 10 ड्रिंक पी के अगले दिन आपको कुछ नहीं होता था, और आपको एक ड्रिंक भी पीते हो तो अगले दिन आपको पता चलता है कि आपने रात को एक ड्रिंक पी थी.
फिर वो एक दिन एक ड्रिंक का भी रिग्रेट होता है.
अच्छा, एक और चीज़ आपको बताऊँ, बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि दैट बी इट मिलेनियल्स और जेन ज़ी, वन थिंग वी हैव इन कॉमन नाउ, व्हिच इज वेलनेस. राइट? Unless you're a degenerate, then what do I say to you? But if you are anybody who is, who has an ounce of self-awareness, you want to achieve physical and mental wellness. What is not conducive to wellness? Alcohol. It is not conducive to wellness. तो आपको weight lose करना है, आप जिम जाते हो, आपने personal training ली हुई है, आप उसको इतने पैसे देते हो ट्रेनर को, आप टेनिस खेलने जाते हो, you know what happens to you when you're playing tennis. All this is fine, like you people are passionate about fitness, but when you're doing it, you know that you're struggling, there's so much that you have to bring from inside to reach your fitness goals, and then you go have 10 drinks, and then your liver is not able to burn fat like it's supposed to. तो फिर फायदा क्या हुआ? तो आपके गोल्स जो है वो इतना लेट अचीव हो रहे हैं और इतना डिले हो रहा है आपके गोल्स अचीव होने में, तो आप जो है अब अल्कोहल से थोड़ा सा दूर रखना शुरू हो जाता है. यू लुक एट बॉलीवुड स्टार्स, व्हाई आर दे नॉट ड्रिंकिंग व्हेन दे आर शूटिंग फॉर देयर मूवीज?
शक्ल पे आ जाता है.
So many Bollywood stars today, you look at, they don't drink. You don't believe me? You Google Bollywood stars who don't drink alcohol. long list. And then you Google, out of these stars, who all endorse alcohol brands? Long list. Right? So my point is that धीरे धीरे करके ना लोग अब जाग रहे हैं. People are waking up to the reality, and it's not because of brands like Catwalk. It's not because of what the doctor is saying. It's because what your body is saying. Right? The biggest marketing tool for a brand like ours is the human body.
Yeah.
Right? Human body will reject it, reject alcohol. Then they will find alcohol. Then they will find Catwalk somewhere, and they will consume Catwalk.
Coming back to when you were talking about wellness, at the end of the day, is Catwalk a wellness brand if we look at it from a macro level?
If you're into wellness, Catwalk is a wellness brand. If you're not into wellness, then how will Catwalk be a wellness brand? See, we've put all natural ingredients, right? We've made this an alternative to something that is not conducive to wellness, as we discussed. So it will not hurt you, it will benefit you. Like, for example, we use pink grapefruit in its most natural form. And pink grapefruit is a huge, huge source of vitamin C. Lemongrass, antioxidative. Monk fruit regulates blood sugar. So if you're using such ingredients, उसका फायदा आपको मिलेगा. But आप अगर लेना चाहो तो.
Like you're promoting, the non-drinking lifestyle and you're talking about it. So देखा जाए तो एक तरीके से थोड़ा सा it's in that direction, but it's not directly in that direction.
I love how you take non-drinking to wellness already. Like, I don't have to say this, right? So, if you've said it, then I don't need to add anything. Now, the non-drinking is wellness.
Yeah.
And that is a worldwide fact. Now, right? So this guy, the US Surgeon General, he said that alcohol is a group 1 carcinogen, and labels should have warning that alcohol causes cancer, just how cigarette packs have. And people went bonkers, like, what are you saying? This was declared in the 80s and it never came out. It was there, you go search. My point being that when we create an alcohol alternative just as ours, and when you use that for achieving your wellness goals, for you achieving your fitness goals, we are obviously a wellness brand. We want you to be well. We want you to make better choices.
I was going through your website the other day and I saw that you have like gluten-free drinks, you have zero sugar in your drinks. So are you targeting the people who are health conscious as well?
मैं आपको बताता हूँ. So if somebody is looking to cut down alcohol, chances are they're also looking to cut down sugar. These things, when we look at our audience, when we look at the persona of our audience, we understand that these are health conscious people, right? They like to take care of themselves.
Yeah, they think about themselves.
They're into self-care, right? And self-care ka jo last,
pyramid.
हाँ, pyramid में सबसे ऊपर self-care के ऊपर जो pyramid है, उसके ऊपर self-love लिखा हुआ है, right? So आप जब अपने आप से प्यार करते हो ना, तो आपको बहुत ध्यान रखना पड़ता है कि आप बॉडी में क्या डाल रहे हो. जिस ऑडियंस के हम जिस पर्सोना के साथ बात कर रहे हैं, ये वो ऑडियंस है जो एक माइंडफुलनेस में बिलीव करती है. माइंडफुल ड्रिंकिंग, माइंडफुल ईटिंग. So yes, we had that in mind and we wanted to make sure that they get what they want.
It'll only expand the horizon.
Yeah.
I was researching that सारे brands white spirits से enter करते हैं majorly.
Yeah.
So why? Then they expand to whiskey or rum.
देखो, this is true for alcohol industry. Non-alcoholic में तो देखो, हमने तो gin and vodka से इसलिए enter किया था because my idea behind the products was always that to give some flavors to it. Don't make a classic gin, right? Why? Because I wanted up, like, see, there are brands who are doing classic non-alcoholic gins as well, and they have their own audience and they're doing a good job, right? But we had to stand for something. So our idea was to give people something which resembles the spirit but also is tasty, right? And how do we make it tasty? We make concoctions. right? Which for example, the one that we have in front of us, which will pop open in a bit, it has pink grapefruit, lemongrass, hibiscus, basil, right? All that when it comes together, it's tasty. We've added juniper to have some resemblance to gin, right? Uh, but what happens is that when it comes to non-alcoholic beverages, Muskan, uh, people drink bitter alcohol because they want to get drunk, feel the impact, right? But when people are drinking non-alcoholic beverages, they don't want something too bitter, right? They want to enjoy it, but they want it regret-free. They don't want to be worried कि कल hangover होगा. But at the same time, like yes, बहुत ज़्यादा calories होंगी. So our idea was to give them something which they can enjoy. Because you see, if I make a classic gin or a classic vodka, it's bitter, it has the burn. Somebody will drink one drink and they will be like, nice, you got the taste right. They will not have a second drink. Second, जो आपका repeat जो आता है वो हमेशा
फ्लेवर के लिए आता है.
tastiness के लिए आता है. When it comes to the food and beverage industry,
Got it. So मतलब भैया मेरे को लगता है कि जो रम एंड विस्की वाली ऑडियंस है उनको छोड़नी भी नहीं है ज़्यादा.
देखो, if my stats are not wrong, India is primarily a rum and whiskey.
Yeah.
90% of the market is rum and whiskey.
Yeah.
But अब वो वाली audience, woke, and if they are looking to quit and like looking for alternatives, I doubt that. Right? So my market is basically people who are into premium spirits, right? Who can afford premium spirits. So for us, right now this is a product. And also हिंदुस्तान में जब आप एक बेवरेज को 50-60 रुपए से ऊपर का कर देते हो तो वो प्रीमियम
ही हो जाता है वो.
हो जाता है, राइट? अब मेरे को तो लाइक हमारी 1299 की बॉटल है. सो अब मुझे दो तरीके के लोग मिलते हैं. एक बंदा मेरे को आके बोलता है 1299 इसमें तो शराब भी नहीं है, राइट? एक बंदा आके मुझे बोलता है नाइस है, fairly priced, it's good, I can have 24 drinks, because he sees value, he or she sees value, right? They see value कि that ठीक है आपने इतनी मेहनत करके इतने सारे botanicals डाल के ड्रिंक बनाई है which I can use as an alternative to alcohol, whereas one person, he only sees value in the bottle if there is alcohol in it. Then he can go to the alcohol store, right? I am going to be concerned about this person who appreciates what I've created at this value, and this is how you segregate
your audience.
अपने आप ही हो जाती है.
You're not catering to that person only.
And by the way, this has nothing to do with money or like how much money they have. This has everything to do with awareness. आपको बताता हूँ, जब मैं अल्कोहल छोड़ने की कोशिश जब मैं कर रहा था ना, जब शुरू में जब बात बनी थी कि छोड़नी है मुझे, लाइक आई वांटेड टू क्विट, एंड लाइक अभी छोड़ी नहीं थी, एंड तभी मैंने कैटवॉक पे काम करना शुरू कर दिया था.
अच्छा, you knew that?
Yeah. When I started working on Catwalk, the day I started working on Catwalk, I was still drinking, right? But I was like कि छोड़नी है, but क्या पीऊँगा जब पार्टी में जाऊँगा, जब दोस्तों के साथ मिलूँगा, क्या what will I drink? So I thought that maybe let's work on something which basically becomes a good alternative for someone like me. And then I had faith that there are people like me, right, who want an alternative at a party. So I kind of felt that once I will have this alternative ready, I will quit drinking myself, right? So I still remember the day I got the samples. जिस दिन samples आए थे, उसके एक हफ्ते के अंदर I had quit drinking, like because I realized ना कि that this is a good drink to have, right? उस समय तो ऐसे प्लास्टिक की bottles में आए थे. I still remember my fridge में उसको रखता था just to make sure that and would get people to try it. But yeah, so that's how it happened.
I think the best brands come out when the founder makes something about सफ़र किस चीज़ पे कर रहे हैं या उनकी स्टोरी क्या है, तभी वो पर्सनली एक टच भी आता है. And I like you're just another brand.
For sure. You see, every founder would. How would you get the idea of the product if you didn't face the problem yourself?
Exactly.
पहले problem आपको feel होती है, फिर आप उसका सोल्यूशन निकालते हो और फिर आप ये रियलाइज करते हो कि ये प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ आपको अकेले नहीं है, इट्स अ कलेक्टिव प्रॉब्लम and the solution has to be also something which basically helps all the like-minded people.
Did you do a survey?
Yes, we did a survey with almost like what 900 800 900 people. One question only. I asked them 30 questions, but one question का answer मुझे चाहिए था to make sure that I will do this brand. Do you feel the need of an alternative? Be it for yourself, be it when you're hosting, and for a teetotaler, if they have come to your house, every like 99% was yes, there should be an alternative. And we were like करते हैं. अब बाकी तो आपकी ड्रिंक के ऊपर मैटर करता है ना कि आप क्या बनाते हो और कैसे बनाते हो.
I was also looking at other non-alcoholic brands, and one thing common I saw is कि सबकी bottle बहुत ज़्यादा look-alike लगती है to an actual alcohol bottle.
Yeah.
So how important is that factor when you design your product?
देखो हमने तो ऐसे आजकल तो बेसिकली लाइक लाइक अल्कोहल बॉटल्स वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड सिंपल वी वेंट टू टाउन विद इट वी वांटेड टू हैव फन because we want to make sure that if our bottle is on a bar shelf someone would be like wo kya hai in branding there's a concept called first moment of truth FMOT. It majorly is used for products that will be on a shelf. So वहाँ पे FMOT की बहुत ज़रूरत होती है कि आपका फर्स्ट मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रूथ क्या है. हमें वो अचीव करना था. And I've been running an agency for the past 10 years. I've done branding for more than 100 brands, 150 brands, packaging, branding. And when I was working on this, a lot of people told me like minimal karo, and I'm like रुक जाओ. मैं like जो मैं करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ मुझे ये अचीव करना है कि that it should look like an alcohol bottle, but it should look like there's something going on with it, something's different, right? Because if I look exactly like an alcohol bottle and I'm next to an alcohol bottle, someone will have to read that this is a non-alcoholic gin. Whereas if I've had fun with it, if it's quirky, they'll be like, okay, कुछ different लग रहा है, कुछ different होगा इसके साथ. So even when now we're serving at really good bars in Delhi, Bombay, Mumbai, Bangalore, the bartenders tell us that when somebody sits on the bar and orders a drink, they will order their alcoholic drink, but they'll be like, wo kya hai?
Yeah.
And when they say wo kya hai, then they're like, ek pilana mujhe fir, let me try. It sounds, there's a novelty factor to it, right?
I was coming to offline only. Where all are you available and कैसे आपने crack करा offline?
I'm grateful that I have a co-founder who comes from a sales and distribution background. He's been working in the beverage space for the past 10, 12 years. So he really helped. Plus, we went ahead and we just met restaurant owners and bartenders and mixologists who work with restaurants, who manage their F&B, got them to try the product. Some really loved it. Some loved it to say कि that बस रख दो, दे दो, हमें चाहिए. एंड ये डिपेंड करता है. देखो आज की डेट में भी हम जब किसी रेस्टोरेंट के पास जाते हैं तो मुस्कान एक चीज़ आपको समझनी पड़ेगी दैट जब कोई रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस में जाता है लाइक रेस्टोरेंट्स विद बार्स और जब कोई बारटेंडर बनता है, मिक्सोलॉजिस्ट बनता है, सो वन थिंग इज श्योर दैट दे आर प्रो अल्कोहल, राइट? ये तो बात पक्की हो गई ना. Even if they don't drink themselves, they're pro alcohol. Generally, all of them drink themselves. That's why they open a bar, right? So it's very important for us to know that if they have the exposure, what is happening in international market. If they actually care, like अगर आपकी एक टेबल पे 5 लोग बैठे हैं and उसमें से एक नहीं पी रहा है, 4 पी रहे हैं, और as a restaurant you only care about the 4, right? that ये पी रहे हैं, ये मेरे कस्टमर ही हैं, जो 5th बैठा है वो फ्रेश लाइम डाइट को पी के घर चला जाए, मुझे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, then you're not my TG. My TG in terms of restaurants are places where either the F&B director or the owner knows that that person is also important. I need to give them something. And have the vision that I want to make money from them as well. Right? Because if I sell them more than a Diet Coke, I charge them a premium. और रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस बड़ा सिंपल है. अगर हफ्ते में 10 लोग आके पूछ रहे हैं कि दैट यार कुछ जीरो अल्कोहल में क्या है, तो वो रेस्टोरेंट आपके लिए खुल जाता है.
Yeah, 100%.
सो अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं जैसे वी हैव कॉमरिन. इट्स माय पर्सनल फेवरेट व्हेन इट कम्स टू फूड. आई एम अ फूडी सो आई लव कॉमरिन. Common we are serving catwalk. Indian accent we are serving catwalk. Camilo's in Delhi we are serving catwalk. Shangri-La all restaurants we are serving catwalk. Mesa Lodi, some names I can't remember, but these are restaurants that we're serving catwalk, right? You look at Bombay, Bangalore, Food, Coco, we're serving catwalk. So these restaurants, either the owner or like the mixologist, the person responsible for the bar, who's running the bar, they have a vision. They're like कि हाँ ये चाहिए. अब आपको पता है कॉमरिन में I heard this story अभी पीछे कि that there were two women who came for lunch, sat there for 2 hours, had lunch, and they were talking. They bought a bottle of catwalk and finished it.
That's nice.
They had it with soda and they kept pouring. खुद ड्रिंक्स बनाते रहे, सोडा आता रहा, they kept drinking and they finished it. So रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस क्रैक होता है फर्स्ट बाय एक्सेप्टेंस. अभी भी ऐसे रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं दे कि क्या चलेगा, ये कैसे चलेगा, ये नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज उनको ये भी लगता है कि दैट इससे हमारे अल्कोहल का बिजनेस ना कम हो जाए. विच यू नो समटाइम्स इफ आई हैव एक्सेस टू देम एंड आई एम फेमिलियर विद देम, आई टेल देम एज लाइक कि जो घर से पीने के मूड से आएगा वो आके यहाँ पे ये नहीं पी लेगा. But give this to people who are not drinking, right? Keep this, and I'm not saying you basically go to town with it, right? आप अपनी सारी alcohol की bottles रखो, पूरी दीवार सजा के रखो, एक ये रखो, and give it to people, like suggest it to people, because you see non-drinker भी ना अब basically जो नहीं drink करते हैं ना, वो भी अब जाके ना वो expect ही नहीं करता है मेरे लिए कुछ special होगा.
In offline you're also fighting for like space and attention, तो आपने solve कर ही ली by the quirky design.
Space तो देखो like we're all fighting for space, right? इसमें क्या है. अब जो आपको नया अल्कोहल ब्रांड भी आता है वो भी they're also fighting for space ना. अब बताओ ना, एक इतनी सारी नई जिन्स आ गई हैं, हर रेस्टोरेंट में उन्होंने सब अच्छी जिन रखनी है. आप रेस्टोरेंट में नई नई जिन की कंपनीज हैं, नई वॉडकास लॉन्च होती है, इतनी सारी टेकीलाज आ गई हैं, सडनली दिस टेकीला रेवोल्यूशन इज एवरीवेयर, राइट? तो सारी टेकीला तो नहीं बिक रही हैं, स्पेस तो उनको भी चाहिए. अब एक रेस्टोरेंट पे जाती है, 2 बॉटल वो रखवाते हैं, अब जब तक वो 2 नहीं बिकेंगी तब तक कैसे और आएंगी. अब वो 2 नहीं बिक रही हैं. अब क्योंकि दुनिया तो बहुत जिसने पैसे खर्चने हैं दे कि मैं तो डॉन हुलियो पीऊँगा टेकीला में, राइट? अब आप जितनी मर्जी ब्रांड्स निकाल लो, हाँ जब आप इवेंट करोगे मैं फ्री में पी लूँगा, राइट? इवेंट पे फ्री में मैं पी लूँगा, राइट? तो ये वाले जो चैलेंजेस हैं ना, ये बेवरेज के चैलेंजेस हैं, ये कैटवॉक के साथ भी हैं, अल्कोहल ब्रांड्स के साथ भी हैं. बस फ़र्क ये होता है अल्कोहल ब्रांड्स आर वेल फंडेड. 2016 में जब अल्कोहल की सेल्स डिप कर रही थी तो एक जिन रेवोल्यूशन आया था. एवरीबॉडी वाज ड्रिंकिंग जिन, हेंड्रिक्स में क्यूकम्बर डाल रहे हैं, टॉनिक वाटर ऐसा हो गया था कि दैट मतलब पानी की तरह बह रहा था, राइट? जिन एंड टॉनिक, जिन एंड टॉनिक, जिन एंड टॉनिक. पीपल आर सेइंग कि जिन से हमें हैंगओवर नहीं हो रहा है, लाइक यू नो, लाइक जिन नई नई जिन्स लॉन्च हो रही हैं, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स पुटिंग देमसेल्व्स एज लाइक जिन एक्सपर्ट्स, राइट? और अब आया टेकीला
वेव.
जब लास्ट ईयर अल्कोहल की सेल्स में ग्रोथ परसेंटेज में डिप आया है इंडिया में. सेल्स में डिप नहीं आया है, सेल्स की जो ग्रोथ होती है ईयर ऑन ईयर उसमें डिप आया है लास्ट ईयर. सो टेकीला इज हियर टू रेस्क्यू द इंडस्ट्री, राइट? वेरी वेरी देखो मैं तो इसमें बहुत अच्छे से इसको स्टडी करता हूँ, तो मैंने ये नोटिस करा कि दैट दीज आर थिंग्स दैट यू नीड व्हेन एन इंडस्ट्री इज स्ट्रगलिंग. यू नीड अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट. अभी तो ये चल रहा है कि अगावे बेस्ड है तो इससे हैंगओवर नहीं होता है, ज़ीरो कैलोरी, लाइक यू नो, लाइक एक वो पीछे मैंने एक वैसे ऐसी पॉडकास्ट चल रहा था जैसे हम बैठे हैं, बट वो थोड़ा लेम था, हम लेम नहीं है. उसमें वो कह रहे थे कि टेकीला इज ज़ीरो कैलोरी.
Yeah, I see so many people जो हेल्थ कॉन्शियस है कहते हैं टेकीला पियो, इसमें तो कैलोरीज नहीं होती.
हाँ बट वो देखो आप लोग का ही है ना वो स्लैंग, डिलुलू इज दिस सुलुलू, वही चल रहा है. मोटी मोटी बात है, वही चल रहा है कि आपको ऐसा लग रहा है. आज आपकी बॉडी अगावे बेस्ड स्पिरिट को बड़े अच्छे से हैंडल कर पा रही है, पीते रहो, देखो क्या होता है 6 महीने में 1 साल में.
So, as we all know that your prices are the lowest in the industry as when compared to other non-alcoholic brands. So, of course, apart from having the edge from the competition, why did you choose to keep this price?
I don't think I had the competition in mind when I was putting this price. I had one thing in mind. I had my unit economics in mind. What is the kind of margin I need to survive, to make sure that I get the money to grow the brand, right? Uh, to to give value, right? And to make sure that when it comes to a premium alcoholic gin versus our product, it's cheaper, right? Now you can't compare it to a generic gin brand because that's going to be much cheaper, right? But if you look at a premium brand, we're cheaper than that. And people who see value in non-alcoholic as much as they do in alcoholic, those people appreciate that we've not been uh, ridiculous about it.
Yeah, like decent pricing. So like it's also maybe like this pricing can also democratize the space कि ज़्यादा लोग आ रहे हैं, people are accepting, people are trying. क्योंकि अगर already वो देखे 2-2.5 हज़ार की बॉटल है, इतना महंगा है, तो पहले ही दिमाग में एक बैरियर आ जाता है कि यार
देखो आ ही जाता है ना, because unintentionally, when you grow up in a country like India, where we are a third world country, so हमें value चाहिए हो.
So what's the one myth you want to burst about the non-alcoholic spirits?
देखो myths तो ऐसा है कि that हम जब इसको बना रहे थे ना, तो हमने we thought that this is going to be like the bottles, right? So like, okay, so when we were doing trials, we were like 30-60 ml should be serving size, just like alcohol, right? And people can add anything they want to, right? So when gin came to India, everybody was having it with tonic. Now everybody's having it with soda,
Yeah.
right? Because people realize that tonic is क्यों लेना ना. So हमने भी यही सोचा कि that अभी आप इसको tonic के साथ पियो, catwalk को आप ginger ale के साथ पियो, but eventually if you don't want sugar, you can just add soda, it works. तो जब हम इसको बनाते हैं, हमने सोचा 30-60 ml will be the serving size. So that's how the trials were happening. And we wanted a strong concentrate, right? But by the time जब बॉटल लोगों के हाथ में पहुंची है एंड लिखा है नॉन अल्कोहलिक जिन, बट वी स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग दैट एक ना ब्रेन फॉग आ जाता है कि अब करूं क्या मैं इसका, लाइक व्हाट डू आई डू विद दिस, डू एग्जैक्टली व्हाट यू डू विद एन अल्कोहल बॉटल. Now I can sit in a podcast, I can make 10 videos about it, but I think that is where my biggest job as somebody who's handling marketing for Catwalk is education. Is to tell people use it the way you use alcohol.
Pour 30 ml.
30 or 60 ml. Put your choice of mixer.
The myth कि have it like a proper alcohol.
Yeah. अच्छा वो myth भी इसलिए ना because इतने सारे mixer brands आ गए हैं पिछले 4 साल में that people think that ये भी mixer होगा. नहीं है mixer. We are replacing the alcohol in your glass, not the mixer. We need a mixer. Catwalk needs a mixer. For example, the cans that we have here, they're mixed with tonic.
So Ishaan, I've prepared this very exciting game with you for which we'll have to open the can.
Finally.
मैं
तब से कॉफी पिए जा रहा हूँ और मैं यहाँ पे ऐसे becoming a ball of anxiety.
Ishaan, it's a sip or a skip. So I'll ask you a couple of questions. If you relate, you sip. If you don't, you skip.
Okay.
So let's
Pop.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now we have to drink. It's a cheers.
एक बार तो yeah.
Nice. Let's start.
Yes.
Non-alcoholic spirits is better than mocktails.
For sure. Then am I supposed to sip now?
Yeah.
Because I agree. If I agree, yeah.
That's the flow.
Wouldn't you want to sip as well?
मेरे को भी करना है. अच्छा, so it's like going for both of us. Okay, perfect. Will Gen Z make the non-alcoholic spirits the new norm?
I don't know if they'll make non-alcoholic spirits the new norm, but they will make not drinking for fun the new norm.
I agree with this. When I was writing this question, this answer came to my mind, this exact answer.
Great minds think alike.
Is espresso martini sip, skip, or send back?
Skip, for sure. Like, I would never have a drink which has both caffeine and alcohol. It's the worst thing to do to your system, because one part of your drink is gonna make you, like, make your blood pressure drop, and the other one is increasing your blood pressure. It's a recipe for nervous disaster.
But I love, so I'll sip.
आपकी उम्र है, आप पी लें मैडम.
Sip if you have actually fooled someone into thinking if it's a real gin or a vodka.
Yeah, for sure. My own brother-in-law, यार. He was like, मुझे नहीं लगता, मुझे लगता तूने डाली है.
You have had a bar or a store owner tell you this won't sell.
Yeah.
Sip.
अच्छा यार, मैं वैसे ही पिए जा रहा हूँ.
You think bartenders should take this non-alcoholic spirits more seriously?
For sure. And I think the smart bartenders who are well traveled, who are exposed to what's happening in the West, who understand that there's a segment in India, there's a set of people in India who are inspired by what's happening in the West, and they want that experience in India. So these bartenders, these mixologists are already aware. उनको सिर्फ ये चाहिए कि आपका टेस्ट ठीक है. So for example, when I meet such great mixologists today, they will understand.
Non-alcoholic spirits should have a separate place at the menu.
I think now most good restaurants have a category called zero proof cocktails or non-alcoholic cocktails. Cormoran has something called non-alcoholic spirits, and Catwalk is there. But idea is that, and I said this on Shark Tank also, that our vision is to replace mocktails, sugary, synthetic mocktails.
Last question. Cold beer over a
हमने सिप तो लिया ही नहीं है हम तो.
Oh, sorry यार. Cold beer over a fancy cocktail, sip or skip?
Both, nothing, neither. You know what I had the other day? I had a zero alcohol beer, like the Heineken Zero. I enjoyed it because, I was missing the taste of beer. I don't, so, sometimes, truth be told, sometimes I would miss the taste of a good bourbon or a good single malt or just beer on a hot day. Because I don't miss the high anymore, right? So I would, miss the taste, and I had zero beer, Heineken Zero. It was nice, यार. Like, and see, मैं ये मानता हूँ ना कि that इस समय जो भी हमारे साथ competition beverages हैं, सब जो कर रहे हैं वो हम एक दूसरे के लिए कर रहे हैं. And I always, whenever I speak to the founders of other brands that work with us, work in the category, I tell them that बहुत बड़ी category बनने वाली है. हम सब खुश रहेंगे. एक दूसरे के हमारे फ्लेवर्स अलग हैं, हमारा स्टाइल्स अलग हैं. आपके कस्टमर हमारे कस्टमर बनेंगे, हमारे कस्टमर कभी आपके बनेंगे. जब अल्कोहल में इतने सारे ब्रांड्स, इतने सारे टाइप्स ऑफ अल्कोहल एक साथ सर्वाइव कर सकते हैं, देन व्हाई नॉट a category which is much bigger. Non-drinkers in India or in the world, there are more non-drinkers than drinkers.
Of course.
So, yeah.
So tell me, what is the craziest thing you have heard from a random person when they tried your product for the first time?
Vinita said, "Na, it tastes like a juice."
Yeah, it's not.
And I am like कि पहली बात तो अगर आपका जूस ऐसा टेस्ट कर रहा है तो अपने जूस वाले को और पैसे दो. बहुत महंगा टेस्ट कर रहा है. But I don't know what juices she's drinking, but Catwalk doesn't taste like juice. At the moment she took a sip, from the bottle, I was like, so ऐसा हो रहा है ना, मैं I think अमन से या किसी से इधर बात कर रहा था, and I saw her taking a sip, and I'm like, ये आने वाला है, क्योंकि उसने बॉटल में से नीट पी लिया है, ये आने वाला है, और मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा है. तो मैं भूल चुका हूँ मेरे से दूसरा क्या बात कर रहा है. मेरे को पता है कि दैट वहाँ से आने वाला है फीडबैक कि दैट ये तो मतलब इसमें कुछ टेस्ट नहीं आ रहा, बिकॉज आपने डाइल्यूट नहीं करा, राइट. उसमें कुछ डालोगे तो थोड़ा सा वो ओपन अप करेंगे ना सारे फ्लेवर्स. तो yeah, that is the craziest thing I've heard. And you know, like जो मैंने उनको वहाँ बोला ना कि that जिस टेस्ट को आप मिस कर रहे हो वो एथेनॉल से आता है, वो मैंने अपने यहाँ पे भी मेरे लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल so many times my friends also see, एक ना वो है जब आप किसी के आगे कैटवॉक रखते हो ना, they're like can I try it neat, मुझे नीट ट्राई करना है, because everybody wants to get into the recipe, right? Like everybody becomes a like expert.
Yeah, mixologist.
Mixologist, like I want to see नीट कैसा टेस्ट कर रहा है. हमने जब हम ट्रायल्स कर रहे थे, जब हम बना रहे थे, हमने नीट ट्राई नहीं किया. क्यों करना था नीट ट्राई? आप कोई नॉर्मल जिन या वोडका को कोई नीट पी रहा है, जो पी रहे हैं उनको पीने दो, बट मोस्टली पीपल यू डाइल्यूट इट, राइट?
So, one last question I have from you is, we do this with every guest, that what is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
बेस्ट पीस ऑफ एडवाइस तो मुझे नहीं पता, बट आई थिंक व्हेन आई वाज growing up, my parents always kind of they never put it in these words, but it always used to be like just be gentle and be kind in whatever situation you are in. It's hard as an entrepreneur, as a founder, to be gentle, to be kind to the people around you, but just strive for that. Because you see, if you're not gentle, if you're not kind in all situations, if you snap at people, if you get angry, if you get bitter, it's followed by guilt. So you're basically just putting your mind through a lot of unwanted stress. So I always tell people that this is what I like. Like I'm a very religious person, and I think God has been very good to me. So I feel that it's very important to be at peace. Find peace in wherever you are, and ठीक है, मेहनत करते रहो, and be at peace, be gentle to people around you, be kind to people around you, and I think that's something that I've got from my parents and by being spiritual.
Love it. So Ishaan, I think I've got everything I wanted from this conversation, and it was a very long conversation, which I really liked.
Long feel na hoti na if you would have liked it.
No. I got it. I know it because of the camera. No, but I'm glad we did this, and
Likewise.
I hope that this podcast helps you in expanding the knowledge for this category.
And I hope that this podcast gets you some nice hooks that you can go viral with.
No, just doing this conversation was great in itself. So thank you so much, and
Thank you for having me.
thank you. See you guys next week.